Ladies and gentlemen, we have returned from the dark reaches of the internet, but to our home, where we watch and rate theatrically released Disney films. We are laying down our arms and coming together for another season of harmony and peace. What a season it will be! But before we get to all of that, let us meet our society members. He is our founder, the Coach Bombay of the podcast, Mr. Robert McSwain. Robert, how are you doing tonight?
I have never been more excited to get into a season. I think we all need this. So I'm ready to go.
How are you? I feel like you've been working on this since like 2 years ago.
Well,
It's all leading up to this.
Yes.
It's all leading up to this. This is going to be the make or break season. He is our historian, the Merlin of the podcast, a wizard of Disney knowledge, Mr. Michael Crawford. Michael, how are you doing tonight?
Higatus Figatus. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How are you?
Fine. How are you? Last but not least, the Robert Newton. Well, it's not last really, but anyway, the Robert Newton of the podcast. He is a personality that fills the room and gives this podcast its stern voice of reason. Mr. Andy Brown. I hated it. How's it going, Andy?
To be or not to be is a question. I'm great. Hey, guys.
I'm Jeff Crawford, your host, the Bing Cosby of the podcast. Robert wrote this, not me, but nevertheless, we have a unique episode tonight. Pass me the cow and drink some cold milk, and let's toss it to our founder to explain.
So last year we revisited our old episodes and we re-ranked them. It was nice, Jeff. We also teased upcoming episodes. And this year we're going to tease, but more importantly, we're going to take a moment, take some time to remember a giant in the Disney Legends ranks. He passed last year, and I've been really wanting to do something to remember him. And there was 3 actors that I always recognized when I saw them in Disney films, and those 3 were Fred MacMurray, Dean Jones, and of course Tommy Kirk. To no one's surprise, we've covered a lot of these movies so far. I've always hoped that maybe we could have had Tommy come on the podcast and talk to us, but he passed and the opportunity missed us. So I want to take this episode to remember him and honor him. So in addition to listening to some of the clips of upcoming films, we're also going to listen to some of the clips from our favorite, well, probably my favorite Tommy Kirk movies. So without further ado, let's jump right into the Tommy Kirk section of this, and we're going to play our first Tommy Kirk movie. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. And this particular scene combines a lot of favorite characters of the podcast, of the society. So let's roll that clip and hear what we choose here for the first Tommy Kirk clip.
You know, Fritz, the old tiger, he'll come along here like this at night after the pit's been all covered up, and he'll sniff the meat, and he'll start to circle the pit. And he'll come around here like this, and he'll think, I think I just might grab that big hunk of meat. So he gets down like this, and he gets like this, and then whoop.
I think you better just tell me, Francis, not show me. Otherwise, you'll be in there before that tiger of yours.
Well, anyhow, he'll jump for the bait, and that's how I'll catch my tiger.
Ha! Do you honestly think a tiger's gonna fall for something like this? You're wasting your time.
You talk about wasting time, Ernst. How many hours did you spend making that silly hat?
That's none of your business. You're not my boss.
No? Now look, Ernst, we've got more important things to do than try to amuse Roberta.
The trouble with you is you're jealous.
Jealous? Of what? Why don't you grow up? That's enough, Ernst.
Fight! Now you hit him, Fritz! Ow! Come on, Fritz, get him! Get him, Fritz! Fight!
What's this all about?
Nothing.
Doesn't sound like it's about nothing.
Tommy Kirk with the early, you're not the boss of me.
It's true.
You're not my supervisor.
I sort of picked that more for Moochie than anything.
It's a Moochie clip, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed the Moochiness.
Poor Tommy taking one on the chin in that one, too. I mean, Tommy Kirk aside, the music cues really come through more when you're listening to it like that. It's really good. But, of course, that was Swiss Family Robinson. And like I said, it's one of my all-time favorites. And then in that scene, of course, we had my man crush, James MacArthur and Tommy Kirk and Moochie. So,
Wowee!
And then lots of Moochie in that.
I'm glad Moochie's not your man crush.
No, I don't have a man crush on Moochie.
Man crush Moochie.
Moochie crush.
Lots of shirtlessness going on in that movie too. They're all strutting around.
Good movie for a man crush to be in.
Definitely. So what were kind of your thoughts on that movie as a whole with Tommy in it?
Well, I mean, that's a great one. I mean, I think that's one of the ones we've ranked really highest of all. And Tommy being the poor, sensible book learning guy stuck between Beefcake, older brother, and Moochie.
How many? I meant to look this up before. He did a lot of movies with Moochie playing his brother, obviously.
Oh yeah, totally.
But he did get kind of typecasted at this stage, certainly, because this was one of his last movies, wasn't it, with Disney?
I'm not sure how it falls in the chronology there. But,
I can't remember either. But
yeah, the Moochie pair-up was a big part of his like Disney career, and I think always being the older brother myself, I always identified like the nerdy older brother. I always identified.
That's like multiple times you've compared me to Moochie.
Oh yeah, it had a touch of the mooch.
I did not have any touch of the mooch.
I had more Moochie going on than Jeff, I think.
No, I was not comparing you to Moochie, but more just comparing the sort of Tommy Kirk vibe to me.
It's a good movie. Swiss Family Robinson. Love it. Love the production. All the acting. It's great.
It's a movie. I had, of course, the first time we did it on the show, I had never seen it before, but I've seen it a couple of times since. In fact, a recent trip this past summer, I went to the coast of North Carolina with family, and there was a day it was raining, and I put this on, and like the whole family, cousins and everything, all sat down and watched it and enjoyed it. They all found the same things that we found ridiculous, like, you know, just the treatment of the animals. Where everybody was like, what's going on here? But at the same time, the story was really well done. The acting was well done. So, and Tommy Kirk was excellent in it.
I think that's a testament right there, what you just said, Andy, to this movie. And I mean, it is something you can sit down and watch over and over again. And it's I've watched it a lot more. I didn't watch it much like in my 20s, but in my 30s and 40s, I've been watching it a lot more. With that, let us talk about something exciting. Let's talk about our first teaser clip. Jeff, will you please?
Tony, you promised me and I promised you. We wouldn't, do the kind of stuff you do with truck. You remember how it used to be when we thought it was all funny, like a game? And all the other kids thought we were some kind of freaks or witches.
I know, dear. We lost all of our friends until we quit doing all the spooky stuff.
You should have let Chuck beat up on you.
Are you kidding? He's got 5 inches and 50 pounds on me.
And you should have made it look like he was winning.
I suppose.
All right, society, name that movie.
Poltergeist.
Yes.
The Scorpion King.
That makes it sound vaguely sinister. That's a vaguely sinister conversation from the Witch Mountain crowd.
Yeah, it was weird. I Googled it because I was trying to find clips, and And that one came to the top, and it was a scene where they had gotten into a fight with a school kid, and then they were discussing it later. And I haven't seen this movie in a long time. Like, and by that I mean I don't remember anything about it. It's been so long. I guess after Spaceman and King Arthur's Court, or whatever, Oddball, whatever it was called, I'm a little worried. But I kind of felt like they did a sequel to this movie, and then they did a remake, so it couldn't have been that bad, right?
No, I mean, I think this is one that will probably hold up. I haven't seen it for a long time either. I mean, obviously there are things one remembers, such as Flying Winnebagos and Denver Pile. I mean, you can't go wrong with Denver Pile. But I these movies are weird. I think I've probably seen the second one more recently, which I don't think is probably as good. But they're weird. I can't remember who's in which one, but like Ray Milland, they get all these old like Hollywood actors. Like I know Ray Milland's in one. I think he's in the first one, but then like Betty Davis, I think, is in the second one. And
she was also in Watcher in the Woods, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Christopher Lee I think he's in the second one. So it's super weird, but like the people that they have in them. But
Count Dooku himself.
Count Dooku, Saruman. It'll be interesting to see. It's been a long, long time since I've seen it.
This is the one I think I'm probably out of all of them we have, I think this is the one I'm most worried about.
Really?
So, let me go back and look at the list, but I think at least in the first quarter of the season, and there's another one I'm worried about, but it's a special, so but we won't get into that.
Well, there are different reasons to be worried about that, and it is Escape to Witch Mountain, not Escape from Witch Mountain. Although Witch Mountain sounds like a place you would be escaping from.
That's true.
They are escaping to it.
Now, let me ask this. Has anybody ever seen Race to Witch Mountain, the Dwayne Johnson vehicle?
I have not seen that.
Either. I haven't either.
I have to pick that up at some point.
Yeah.
Take a look. What a thing to reboot.
I thought that was interesting. Yes.
Any other thoughts on the Witch Mountain here?
I'm excited to see this is the one with the Rose Bowl too, right? No.
I think that's the second one.
Yeah.
Old school Rose Bowl. But we do get plenty of Flying Winnebago, so that's good.
That's always good, yeah. Great effect.
Our second Tommy clip takes us back to Medfield and to Andy's favorite character. I think we all know who we're talking about, so let's go ahead and roll the clip, Jeff.
Well, I guess we shook them up a little, huh? Nobody's going to push us around.
You're kidding, aren't you, Pop? I mean, about closing down the college and turning the grounds into a housing tract?
Son, I'm going to teach you some of the facts of life. Small college, like the small country store, the little drugstore, they're all in the same boat. Well, they're sinking. Today is the day of the supermarkets, the super colleges. The little man is going to get squashed.
But you graduated from Medfield. It's your college.
All right, so what do you want? Some total stranger to close it down? Or some loyal, friendly alumnus to take care of things?
But isn't there something you could do? I mean, give him some more time on the loan or something.
Now, look, son, I'm sentimental about Medfield just like you. But it's like shooting a horse that has a broken leg. I want to do it to put it out of its misery. Now, if I happen to make a few extra bucks on the side, well, that's just something you're going to have to learn to accept.
Yes, sir.
Oh, about the game tonight, has the word gotten around that you're not playing?
Not that I know of, not yet.
Say, Lenny, see what the point spread is on the Medfield-Rutland game tonight, will you?
How much you want to go for?
Oh, whatever the traffic will bear. 8 or 10,000 bucks.
Pop, you're not betting on Medfield. Without me on the team, we'll get murdered.
Who said I'm betting on Medfield?
You're not betting against us.
Now, son, we have access to some very valuable information about that game tonight. There's an old saying. It's an ill wind that doesn't blow a few extra bucks into the coffers of the Old Lang Syne Loan Company. Get the point?
Love that. So much good writing.
Whatever the traffic will bear. Great line.
For the local college basketball game.
Tommy taking a step away from his sort of stereotype there. He's kind of a dunce in that movie and an athlete on top of that.
He's a jock. Yeah.
Well, it's so funny, like the repeated casting of him as like star athlete Bifford Hawk.
It doesn't seem like he fits that role very well, but it's very funny regardless.
No, it's great.
I mean, I thought Son of Flubber, he seemed to, he had a bigger part in that.
He was woke and woke to science. We should say.
He's
Son of
around.
Flubber. Yeah, he was.
So his character was
acolyte
specifically
of
different. Yeah,
Brainerd. Yeah,
working with Brainerd instead of sort of being a pawn in the old Lang loan company.
Yeah,
that's sort of where they came up with that name.
I know.
Lang
I thought it was so funny when I was a kid.
I mean, it's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. It's still funny.
I really wish they had done more with Hawk. I mean, they did a lot, but I mean, I thought there were other opportunities they could have plugged him in.
Could have done so much more. He's so good. And like whoever was writing for that character, like Jeff said, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
They really like nailed his tone.
But Tommy didn't have a whole lot. I mean, his character was pretty vanilla in that movie, as I recall, but it was more Hawk than anything. I just wanted to have a scene of him and Hawk together. I couldn't remember the scene where he tells him, he tells him he's not Hawk material. That was in,
that's the second one.
Is that the second one, or is that when was it the Herbie one? The Hawk Twitter account used that line the other day.
Not Hawk material.
Wait, I think you're right. I think it is Herbie. It's the one with not the Dean Jones, but who's the other guy that came after?
With Kim Berry.
Yeah, Kim Berry.
Yeah, Kim Berry.
It was that one.
Yeah. But
a real Hawk touch was from in Absent-Minded Professor when he is still doing his dirty work and puts the squirrel in Nettie the Nut's car, and he calls it a real Hawk touch.
Nice. Well, let's move on and make it to teaser clip number 2, and let's see if we can name that movie.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Out of here!
I could never forget this.
Faster! You ski backwards. It takes the strain off the old knee. Look out! See you later.
Yeah, that's indelibly baked into my brain, as it will be into everyone soon enough.
The master of the reaction Foley is Dean Jones.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's, yeah, but I Googled this clips. Of course, that's Snowball Express. The other wild card here, another one I hadn't seen. But I like Dean Jones, so I'm excited. Well, how could it miss? And,
a movie full of, one of the best supporting casts they were hitting on all cylinders on this one. You got your Keenan Wynn, you've got George Goober Lindsay, you got Harry Morgan. It's a cast of thousands.
I don't want to get ahead here, but I think our opening episode's got a stellar cast as well. But we'll talk about that.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Snowball Express. No doubt. I wish we had when we were kids and they'd put out a new animated movie and then they'd have when they were promoting it, they'd have footage of whoever the actor was, in the studio doing the voices of, see, and then they would film it and then they would act it out as they went along and do the animation based on that. I wish they had footage of Dean Jones in the booth doing whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh yeah.
like for like
In the
15
ADR.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we did do it again, Dean. One more take.
With like just a smoke-filled engineering room.
Smoke-filled booth. Just
That's
Yeah.
good, Dean, but we need a little bit more.
Oh man. So yeah, Snowball
looking
Express.
forward to this one.
I'm glad to hear that because I was.
Well, this is one I never watched like when I was a kid.
Right.
And
right.
for some reason, I always pass it. There was like certain, and like being such a huge Dean Jones super fan, I don't know why. I don't get it, but just
This is
never
like-
made the rotation.
This was in our unofficial zany movie section where we just throw in a zany movie in the middle of the season. So I hope this one
Oh, it's
meets our
zany.
expectations. Yeah, it looked zany on paper. So
What's been our zany movies in the past? Just so I know, because I don't. They all remain.
well, we had a miss with Unidentified Flying Oddball last year.
Okay.
And then pretty much the Herbie movies pretty much took up the entire block, because that's sort of where it started. Was we would sort of do an adventure movie, and then after that, just sort of as a palate cleanser, I'd like to throw in a zany movie, and then we ended up doing the entire Herbie franchise that no one's ever going to listen to, right, Jeff?
Wildly popular. Nobody
It's
ever
become
gonna-
wildly popular. It's
There's
true.
a certain spouse that loves it.
Oh man, I'm really excited about this next clip. This is our last Tommy clip. It needs no introduction, so go ahead and do it, Jeff.
Raccoon's been in this corn. Them thieving rascals.
You'll have to take the dog with him of a night.
I got me just the dog for it. Old Yeller will wipe up the ground with them pesky varmints. You think he can't do it?
Oh, no, it ain't that. I didn't want to tell you at the house, but it was him what done it.
What done what?
What stole all them eggs and bread and meat and stuff.
You mean old Yeller?
I seen him suck a batch of eggs. Seen him swipe a pan of Grandma's cornbread, too. But I ain't gonna tell.
I bet you do.
No, I won't. Wasn't going to even before I noticed your dog.
How come?
Because Miss Priss is gonna have pups. Your dog will be their pup, and I wouldn't want him to get shot for stealing.
Just an old arrowhead I picked up. Comanche, Papa said. Well, you can have it.
I won't never tell.
It's so sad that now one of the most like tragic, famously tragic emotional films in the canon, I will never not laugh.
Same.
The second I hear Lisbeth Cersei.
This movie has become a comedy to me.
It's it's sad too because I'd envisioned us watching this and maybe even watching it together and seeing who broke first. But thank God we didn't, because we would have probably been laughing the whole way through it. But obviously old Yeller here with Elizabeth.
His finest hour, Tommy's finest hour for sure.
I mean, his acting in this is phenomenal. This is his like first or second movie, his first movie, I think, at least with a leading role.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think he was like an extra in another movie before this, but I mean, it kind of echoed more like to our friend Joey Kramer. His role was in Flight of the Navigator was so powerful. I thought how he pulled that off as one of his first roles ever too. But this is it's a good movie, even if we laugh at it. I mean, I watched the final scene while I was looking for scenes. I knew I wasn't going to go there in the dark territory with Elizabeth, but I thought that scene really was a solid one of her. I wasn't going to tell.
I can't. I can't. It's just anytime we get close to it, I start giggling.
I was reading that when Tommy passed, he didn't have a lot of family around him. Most of them had kind of disowned him for whatever the reason. I'm not sure what. I just know he had kind of an up and down career in life, and he navigated an unforgiving industry.
Yeah, it's a real shame. He got, I think, treated poorly, and there was a lot that was going on, and I know he had a falling out, or his family had a falling out with him one way or the other. But one thing I think we may have talked about on the podcast is he remained close with the actress who played Elizabeth, and she was still like tight with him even in his like last years.
Well, I was reading that she was his next door neighbor, or at least lived close enough.
Yeah,
and that she notified a lot of the Disney people and some of his co-stars that were still living that he had passed.
This is just a real shame. We had been trying really hard to get him on the Progress City, and trying to get in touch with him, and then sadly he passed away. But I just hope he knows that people really appreciated him and really appreciated his work.
Well, like I said, if he was in the movie, I knew I was going to watch it because it was a sign that this was going to be a good movie. I can't think of any that he did for Disney that were bad.
What's the Christmas one?
Well, we forget that one, I guess.
Okay.
I guess you got to think of it.
Hey, you can't really call that a Tommy Kirk movie, I guess.
I agree. I just wanted to
It's
clarify.
ensemble.
Asterisk.
We haven't watched Merlin Jones yet. I'd be interested to give that one a run back and see what that's like.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen those since I was a kid.
I think that's maybe the last few that we haven't seen yet. Is Merlin Jones. So let me pull it up.
There's Bon Voyage, which I've never seen.
I've seen part of that. Oh, yeah. That just doesn't even seem like a Disney movie.
No, because it was never in rotation. I feel like they never showed that one.
The Horse Masters one. Well, that was a TV series though, but I've seen.
That's good. Yeah.
It's like a TV movie.
The Sherman Brothers' big debut originally.
Good song too.
So he did a lot after
Swiss
Family Robinson. That was one of his first movies, really.
Man, yeah, he was big time. He
reprised his role as Travis in Savage Sam.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course.
And The Misadventures of Merlin Jones, and that was pretty much it. After
Monkey's Uncle. I think Monkey's Uncle was the last.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I hate that we couldn't on Progress City and on this podcast. I think it would have been amazing to be able to talk to him, a true Disney legend. But we're going to close it out with one more teaser clip. So, Jeff, why don't you go ahead and roll that?
So excited about this. Listen to that music. Come on.
Yeah.
How could you not be excited? Get excited.
I got excited because I was looking for clips and that came up. I was like, well, this is amazing because I still haven't seen it. So I'm coming in cold, completely cold off of your recommendation. You needed to watch this one.
This is one of the first ones I watched when I got Disney Plus.
I remember you talking about it.
I hadn't seen it in forever. And it's Disney's Hitchcock film, but the glaring. I just kept thinking, man, Robert needs to see the glaring in this movie.
So much glaring. It is
like
glaring
movie I've ever seen.
A Hitchcock film for teenagers.
What's the movie though?
Moon Spinners, Andy. It was in the song.
Oh, I don't know.
Moon Spinners.
I didn't know that meant anything.
I think we need to maybe do a supercut of the glaring then.
Yeah, for sure.
And cats.
Yeah.
Hissing cats.
Well,
the cats are kind of glaring too, actually.
Yeah, I watched two clips before I got to this one, and they were just kind of confusing. So I didn't like there wasn't anything gripping in it. But then this song really, it got me. I was like, man, I got to play this. This is amazing. So
yeah, it's something else.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's something I had not seen it till I was an adult, and maybe even sort of fairly recent years when I think maybe Leonard Maltin showed it on Turner Classic Movies when they were doing those Disney nights on there, and which is weird. It's like Snowball Express, because I mean I loved Haley Mills, and it was weird that there was a Haley Mills movie that I hadn't seen. Like it's weird there was a Dean Jones movie I hadn't seen. So
how is it weird that we haven't done a Haley Mills movie yet?
that is weird.
It is weird.
So
Dam's gonna burst soon enough.
Well, we're bursting it. I don't want to give too much away, but it's not the only one we're doing.
Especially since hers are like actual season. Like
movies,
good movies. Yeah.
Maybe they're a little too good for this podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Andy?
Yeah.
Well, I think we have one more teaser to do. Robert, what's our first film this season?
So this movie came our way due to a tweet from a fan, and it required us to do a big pivot of season 3. As a result, the tweet came in, I guess, sometime in February or March, and I saw it. And I went, man, I think we got to go there immediately, so we could fit it into our schedule. We like I said, we shuffled the deck a little bit and worked the first episode of this. I guess what would you call it? It's not a trilogy, is it? It's I guess just the part 1 and part 2. So we got
a dyad.
Part 1. We did part 1 last season, and that, of course, was the Shaggy Dog, and we are going to follow it up with the Shaggy DA, with Dean Jones, Susan Plachette, Tim Conway, and Keenan Wynn. Andy, are you excited?
I'm all keyed up.
You ought to be.
Just imagine, a combination of the Shaggy Dog and the Ugly Dachshund, and maybe, I don't know, some Apple Dumpling Gang thrown in.
Oh, yeah.
Just a recipe for success. Great title song. One of the great title songs of all time. Gonna be good.
I mean, you got Tim Conway. Gonna be fantastic. I mean, I'm game for
Gus. Take it back.
I mean, I'm game for that. Of course, Keenan Wynn. And I like Dean Jones. So yeah, I think it should be fine. I'm not getting too high. I'm not getting too low. I'm going in.
What could go wrong?
Right.
Yeah, come on. It's a dog district attorney in the title, the Shaggy DA. I mean,
it's true.
So,
well, we hope you've enjoyed our little preview. If you have any memories of Tommy Kirk or another Tommy Kirk movie you want us to do, tell us about it on social media or shoot an email to info@medfieldfilm.com.
Hey, Travis, I bought you this here card on account of your leg being chewed up by them hogs. After you didn't like my dog I bought you, I thought maybe you'd like this here custom card.
Oh, let me take a look, see. Wait, hold on. That's
more like Susie there.
Oh, let me take a look, see.
Don't you like it, Travis? My daddy took me to town and the local print shop had it made special, like just for you. It says, I hope you don't have the hydrophobia. Get well soon.
Oh, you didn't go to Todd?
Todd? Who's Todd?
Todd at Bydand Graphics.
I thought he died of the swamp vapors last summer.
No, not that Todd. Todd Knaperek, at bydandgraphics.com. He does cards, t-shirts, websites, branding.
You mean he brands the cattle?
Well, yeah, I guess so. He does other stuff too, like podcast graphics.
What are you talking about, Travis? You got the consumption?
No, I don't have the consumption. I'm just saying, if you're going to have graphics done, get Todd at bydandgraphics.com to do it. He's going to make you look good.
I think you look good, Travis.
Stop it right now, not now.
You ain't going to shoot my card, are you, Travis?
So from all of us to all of you, we'll see you next time at beautiful Medfield College.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. I tried not to laugh. I was tears running down my eyes.